Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Vortex Racing Network for tonight's broadcast of the Thursday Thriller Truck Series from the Moonlight Racing League. I'm Mean Gene Money. I've got Smokin' Joe Vulpes here in the booth, and it's race number 2 of our 12-week season. We're live from the Auto Club Speedway to see mad haberdashery and action from the asphalt. Joe, last week was a barn burner at the season opener. We saw everything. We saw green flag racing. We saw absolute speed, and we saw a little bit of tire trickery at the end to get a win. How about today? What are you thinking in your mind, Joe?
Yeah, so tonight we got ourselves a bit of a night race going on here under the lights at Auto Club. That usually garners for a lot of full throttle, wide open, and draft racing around a track like this, even with its worn out surface. The grip is just going to be so high, I think, with it being under the lights, that we're going to see a lot of drafting. The high line might really start coming into effect later in a run. Tire wear still will be a bit of a thing, and that momentum you can get on the high line, especially in turns 3 and 4, might be king as the run goes on.
Just another thing for the veteran drivers to take advantage of the rookies, when to go to the high line and find that speed. So often that's where the mistakes are made. Sometimes it's going slow into the pits. It's missing your pit lane. Heck, it's getting out of the car to go to the bathroom sometimes. So many things that can affect overall speed. So going up to that top line, something we're going to keep an eye on here tonight. Last week, the boys, they started off the season at Nashville, and surprise, surprise, there's no surprise. David Owens pulls off the win. AJ Binish, defending champion from season 5, fastest truck out there all night long. What happens? David Owens, with a little bit of sorcery, pulls a 2-tire stop out of his magic hat, and Binish can't close the gap. You know, Binish led so many laps, but Joe, when I looked at the stats, you know who had the fastest lap as well? David Owens.
Yeah, David had some really good speed last week. It was really came down to the two of them there on their pit strategies at the end of the race. David Owens taking 2 tires, of course, in order to jump AJ, who had that little minor mistake on pit road as well. Really got amplified when Owens took those 2 tires. The gap was just too much for him to close in. Tires equalized, and David Owens was able to cruise to a pretty easy victory on that last tire run.
Locking in his position for the playoffs as well. Remember, this is a win and you're in situation. Going to have a championship race at the end, of course, that will be picked by an in-season tournament. Those teams will be picked race 4 after Darlington, and then that will be announced week 12 after Chicago Land. 2 3-race elimination rounds until finally the showdown at a track yet to be determined. Lots of tracks have not been picked. Michigan's out there. Charlotte's out there. Who knows? Hopefully, it's not going to be a Van Gisbergen choice and end up on some weird, why do we have to turn to the left track? So, lots of things going on. Season 6 about to go underway. The boys are on the track, laying down practice laps as we speak. And as Joe said earlier, night race, that means cooler temperatures, that means slower tire wear, and that means it can be harder to pass sometimes, especially when the dirty air gets right in your grill.
Yeah, you got to be very careful. iRacing has had some recent updates to the whole system of how the draft works, how tire wear works. So, you got to be very careful of what's going on with your tire wear. There's so much that could really go right or wrong based on just being in, the draft, being in dirty air. You got to be careful. Save that right front tire, because it really can wear out without you really even knowing it, just by following in somebody's wake for too long.
One thing's for sure, these trucks aren't going to go right because it's an oval and we're only going left. Hey, let's talk about what happened last year. Last year, 20 drivers did battle here. 18 finished on the lead lap, so it was pretty much a straightforward race. Eric Thornton ended up with the victory. Matt Novella second. Bobby Dodson third. Don't think I'm seeing any of those names here tonight. So this thing's wide open with none of those podium fellas here. Of course, lots of big names are here tonight. After last week, we had 26 drivers, 6 new faces showing up today. Andrew Bolander, outlandish speed. Matt Tucker, Alex Misquarter, Scotty Etstep, Jonathan Casabir, Jeff Pfeiffer. So 6 names did not make the race in week 1, but here they are to do battle here today. I'll tell you what, Joe, there are some crazy names not here. All of TI Racing. That's right. Those guys were 6th, 9th, and 9th in points. That's Tim McRell, Ryan Whitaker, Dalton Wilson. They did not pull up into the paddock here today, not on the grid. And the other name I'm really wondering about, Joe, what happened to Dalton Geyer? Remember this guy?
Yeah, he was in the championship 4 last year, had a very good season, had a couple wins. I remember he was very dominant at New Hampshire early in the season. Showed some great pace, great consistency throughout the season. Big reason why Team DDI last year was so good, especially down the stretch. That team apparently looks like they have a lot of rebranding, including no Dalton Geyer on the team roster this season. So I don't know if that's an intentional thing where he may not be able to race as much or what's going on, but definitely miss having him on the track just because just another really competitive car that's not out there right now.
Yeah, Dalton, great guy, dime score cowboy. Hope everything's going well back in your hotel. Hope to see you back on the track again soon. So curious, a little bit of paperwork there, Joe. So if he can't make it, if he's not a full-time driver, then he wouldn't be eligible to be one of the 4 captains for the in-season tournament. That, of course, is going to be Zach Panzarella, who won the championship, Joe Volpis, David Owens, and the 4th driver in that chase was Dalton Geyer. So if he can't go, does that mean it would pass to the 5th place finisher?
So that actually gets even more interesting.
Oh, boy.
So, of course, Jonathan Casabir missed the first race of the season. He is here tonight. Not really sure what's going on with him either because he's not on Team DDI anymore either, I believe, for this full season. So I'm not sure if he's able to race full-time or not. If he is, then he will be the first alternate to get that 4th spot. If not, then it's going to actually end up going to Matt Novella.
Well, you know who I say give it to? Give it to Captain Crunch. Give it to Steve Lewis. This guy shows up for every race. And hell, I just read his bio and it said he lives on a beach in Missouri. Okay? Anybody living on a beach in Missouri, they deserve to be a captain of something. No joke, though, Steve did have great finishes carrying that in-team tournament for DDI, leading points 2 of the last 3 weeks to get him through to that next round. Let's look at some of these lap times right now. Qualifying going on as we speak. And there is the captain right there, Steve Lewis, driving that 88 Chevrolet, 7th place right there, about a 1/10 of a second behind. Here's Jonathan Casabir, missed the race last week, the Morenci, Michigan Chevrolet. A lot of bow ties out there on that track today. He's driving that number 73 Red Bull, getting her done. And Lucas, hey, nice to see Lucas back too, yeah?
Yeah, great to see him race Lucas Alves back-to-back weeks. He's been running with us a lot, also on the Friday Night Thunder series, and I believe he's going to start running us on Mondays as well. So we're going to get a lot of broadcast time on VRN and MRL broadcasting alike, and I think he's looking to have a good night here tonight. Right now, looking at the lap times, that first lap for him, he's on his first lap right now, so we'll see what he's able to put down. There
he goes in that 1:15. Great seeing him last week as he got her done in a heck of a good race. 20th. So we're expecting to see him going straight uphill as his season continues. You mentioned Monday nights also. I think I would be remiss to mention what happens tomorrow Monday. What do you think? Is something going on?
Yeah, so tomorrow night we got the season opener for MRL Monday Mayhem Cup Series at Charlotte. We'll see how that race really plays out. Last season was a real barn burner. Saw some serious tempers fly at the end of the race, if you remember last season. So we'll see if you get some crazy storylines going for this season as well, straight out the gates. Once again for old Mean Gene Money and Zach Panzarella up in the booth.
Can't wait to see what's going to happen. Speaking of fireworks, the Auto Club was a round of 8 race last year, and that was where we saw the epic exchange between David Owens and Zach Panzarella as their rivalry stewed out of the cars and came out faster than Connor Zurich hitting the ground. Those two guys both picked up penalty too soon. Nah. Both picked up penalties as they decided to cuss at each other. So interesting to see. Those boys have, of course, made amends and have a great working relationship. Qualifying is over. Let's take a look. Patrick Cowgill, he finished 3rd last week in Nashville, and he's going to follow that up with a pole here tonight. On the front row with him, going to be Zach Panzarella, 2 DDI drivers up front. Second row, Joe Volpis, followed by Matt Tucker, who will be starting on the outside in that number 25 blue collar Racing Ford. Alex Hillman going to start 5th. Kyle Lynott on the outside in that 988 Gulf Coast Racing car. Tommy Fox and Steve Lewis, that is going to be your 4th row. Jonathan K. Sabir making his first start of the season. And David Owens, Zero Chill, last week's winner, going to start in 10th on the 5th row.
Yep, starting alongside each other on row 6 is going to be Chris Cowgill and Jeff Pfeiffer making his first start of the season. Speaking of guys making their first start of the season, Alex McWhorter is going to start in unlucky P13 here tonight. We'll see if he can turn his luck around. I know he's had some really, really bad luck in the past here at this track on Wednesday nights. Hopefully he's able to get a good run here on Thursdays. We got Ricky Mandela Sr. starting alongside him. Next row, you have Steve Fugate, admin of the series, starting in 15th alongside Robert Babcock. Then the row behind them, you got Sean Walden, who's been dealing with a lot of technical issues this week. So hopefully he's able to sort those out, have a good race here tonight. Starting alongside David Brenner in 18th. And if we look further on back throughout the field, 19th place will go to Stephen Bryan, 20th Lucas Alves. AJ Binish, a very, very unconventional 21st qualifying effort, as well as the wrong car number tonight. Some iRacing issues happened that have put AJ in the 9 for some odd reason, and the guy alongside him actually has his car number for some weird reason. That's Mike Benton. Is supposed to be in the 69, but is in the 5 instead. So some very weird stuff going on with iRacing and car numbers back there. And then you got Scotty Estep was able to put down a lap time, not a very competitive one. I'm sure he's got a lot more speed than that under the hood. He's going to start 23rd. And Andrew Bolander decided to not partake in qualifying at all. Will round out your 24 truck field for tonight's race there, Mean Gene.
Yeah, Scotty Estep not getting a good quality time. Very surprising. Scotty, one of our better qualifiers here in the MRL Thursday Thriller Series. Going to expect to see that 48 push his way forward. Another big takeaway that I get from that, AJ and Michael Benton in the wrong car number. I'm calling Jared Kelly. Right now. I'm going to get the number Nazi after them, and they're going to either get suspended or a 30-point penalty. Right now, I'm getting him on the phone. Let's do this. All right, here we go. We're getting underway. They are gridded up, and they are rolling around. Patrick Cowgill is going to be the inside truck. Going to keep an eye on him. Ooh, look how close Zach is getting to that pace truck. That guy must owe Zach money. He's let him know it could be a rough time. Also, really nice paint scheme there by the 25 of Tucker on that second row. Cowgill, Panzarella, Volpis, Tucker, Hillman, Lynott, Fox, Lewis, Owens, Case of Beer. That is your top 10. Ready for some excitement here from Auto Club. Joe, this thing is going to be fast and vicious, and I can't wait to get this underway. Waiting for that green flag to get thrown. And here we are, and away we go. Patrick Cowgill going to lead him across that start-finish line, and we are underway. Side by side, Cowgill and Panzarella. Look at them, side by side, 10 deep. Cowgill on the inside. Everybody saying side by side. Look how close the 25 is to the 13 of Volpis. We're going to go 3 wide in turn number 2 on that back stretch. That's getting wild up in here. Panzarella looking inside of Cowgill. Cowgill momentum on the outside going into turn 3. Riding the apron, it is Panzarella. Look at the momentum of the 31, Joe, side by side. These boys can't figure it out on lap number 1. Luckily, they've got plenty. And there we are. Cowgill going to lead lap number 1.
Yeah, that was a really big first lap. I'm looking a little further on back. Some guys making some huge moves throughout the field. Robert Babcock up the most positions so far. He's up 6 spots. He started in 16th. He's already up to 10th into the top 10. Looking right in front of him, you got up 4 spots. Alex McCorder up 4 spots as well. Jeff Pfeiffer. Those guys are making a lot of moves here early on in the race. And speaking of guys making a lot of moves, look at Kyle Knott moving up into second place, getting his hands dirty here, trying to go for that lead.
Kyle Knott, never one to be shy. Had a great third place finish earlier in the Premier Cup in Bonfire League over at Watkins Glen. So this guy has momentum on his side, and he's showing it off today. Still that race between Panzarella and Cowgill, deep in battle. Tucker on the outside, but as you said, that 988, he's the one on the move. Coming up now, 5, 6, 7 trucks, single file until Tucker looks down low. Inside lane, still an option this early in the race, only on lap 3. We are scheduled to go 88 here today. So if we keep it green, I can't wait to see green strategies.
Yeah, so talking about that, actually, remember there is a stage break in the series. It's actually at an odd number tonight. It's going to be at the end of lap 37. So keep that in mind as we move forward. We can get pretty much anywhere around 26 to 30 laps on a tank of fuel. So that's pretty much going to be your tire fuel run for this race here. So everybody's going to have to make a pit stop before the stage, and then everybody's going to have to make a pit stop after the stage as well if it goes green on both sides of the stage caution. So that's always something to keep in mind, especially since there's only 3 additional sets of tires here, Mean Gene. So if you take a set of tires here in this early first stage, then you're pretty much going to be down a set if there's a late race caution. And at a track like Auto Club where the tires really wear out, that's not something you really want to be in a position.
No, speaking of strategy, another person with some interesting strategy, and I've seen him do it a few races in a row, Tommy Fox in that 57 Ford, choosing to let everyone go by and going to just ride around in the back for a little bit. This has yet to burn him because I've seen him rack off top 10s repeatedly, but this seems to be his MO. He qualifies hard, and then he just lets these boys go by, stays in the draft on a super speedway, stays close, but there he is doing it again, just cruising around, waiting for the foolishness to ensue. I tell you, though, if there's no foolishness, this could bite you in the booty, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, that is something you have to be concerned with. The stage break, though, of course, like I was saying, is pretty much your saving grace. Same with Scotty Istep right in front of him. I'd say those two are just going to hang around, see if these guys get a little too crazy here at the start of this race. I mean, look at the guys directly in front of them. They look like they're getting pretty racy. But, if they don't wreck up here in front, no cautions, then they could just ride it out to the stage break and then start making their moves then. Because, we're looking at some of these guys that are making a lot of moves already at this point in the race. Like I said, Alex McCorder, he's up the most spots, currently up 5. He's all the way, and it looks like he's about to make it 6 here in a second.
He almost got
to the outside of Steve Lewis, the captain.
He almost got Duval'd up into the wall right there. It looks like Steve Lewis taking a page out of Jax Duval's book, running guys up as close to the wall as he can. Both these guys managed to make it around. I tell you, though, that strategy, though, riding in the back, yeah, it's not going to burn you for your race finish, but stage points. As a guy who averages finishing 12 to 16th place my entire career, I miss stage points, and that always pushes me down to about 15th in season standings. So something to think about as these guys move forward, especially if there's no cautions. But right now, the way these guys are running, I think cautions are still on the table. It's like watching somebody building a straight in a game of poker. They've already got 4 of those cards. Who knows when that 5th will come along. Here, Cowgill now looking down below. Momentum going to carry him up in front of Panzarella. Will he slide up? Yes, he will. Crossover attempt by Panzarella. Tucker, who will he go with? Chooses to stick on the outside with Cowgill. Hey, why not? That'll put those two back together, and that'll help Tucker save tire and gas as this race continues. Ooh, that dirty air. Did you see that, Joe? It looked like he hit a barrier of air. Cowgill's momentum stopped right there.
Yeah, you got to be very careful of that. Getting in some of these tire tracks, it's pretty much as bad as the next-gen car at this point. You get in some of these tire tracks, you're pretty much going to go for a ride, no matter what kind of tires you're on. And, we're seeing it here. And looks like that high line, though, Mean Gene, it might starting to come into play here. Cowgill making that power move around the outside to clear his teammate, Zach Panzarella, for the lead of the race right there. I think the outside's starting to come in a little better.
Yeah, that was something we talked about, is when to make that move. But if you make it too soon, that will exacerbate the tire wear. And that's not something that you want to happen. Look at the 12 there, bringing it all the way up to the top and then back down. All these guys single file, except for Panzarella, who slips right in front of Vulpes right there, Joe Vulpes. Gentleman driver, not going to shut it down, not going to end his race here on lap 10 with some racing for the win on lap 10 of 88. Up front, though, still side by side, but now it's Cowgill, Tucker. Tucker will poke in behind Cowgill, going to go ahead and lead him around as they come back to that start-finish line. Great racing so far. Green flag racing here on the Vortex Racing Network.
Yeah, and looks like we're going to be coming around to a green and clean lap 12 to honor Dennis Puckett. I think we've had some really bad luck here the past few weeks trying to honor him with a silent lap, because guys have been wrecking on this lap, unfortunately. But I think, barring a commentator's curse, I think we're going to actually be able to do one green here for a change.
Yep. This, of course, Dennis Puckett, founder of the Bonfire Race League. We miss you, brother. All right, so they decided to go 4 wide as soon as we pulled up Dennis's picture. Lots of foolishness. It's like these guys are watching the broadcast so that they can give us all a heart attack. Up front, new leader, Matt Tucker. That's Tucker 3000, of course. He has put that number 25 Pit Plus into the lead. But look at Cowgill looking down low. This is going to be a great test right here, side by side. Cowgill going to try to hug that apron, outside lane with Tucker and Panzarella. And look at that. There's still a little rubber in Cowgill, but he goes all the way up. That speed couldn't hold the bottom. And now it's Panzarella looking down. Gonna slide job his buddy Cowgill. And look at this, 7 trucks deep. Nisla not looking down now, but that's for third place. And he's gonna have a buddy with him. I think that's the 08 of Hillman. Hey, look at this now, Joe. Hillman has snuck back into the picture. There's McWhorter, and here comes Steve Lewis. This thing is far from over. Going to be really fascinating now to see here on lap 14 what's going to happen with the tires. Still trucks trying to hug that bottom, but look at how they lose momentum. Kyle Lynott right there, great camera work I might add, was trying to hug that bottom, and you could just see that outside lane eat him up. Now Vulpes peeks his nose below, trying to help out his Gulf Coast buddy, but that bottom lane looking like it's not going to work. Here comes Steve Lewis behind Vulpes as well. So we're going to see what exactly is going to happen here. I don't know. That bottom line really losing its speed.
Yeah, you pointed it out very well there, Mean Gene. The bottom line loses a lot of momentum when you definitely don't have the help that the high side does. And we're seeing it here. Matt Tucker going to take it to the bottom this time. And I think it'll work in clean air. But if you're trying to make a pass on the bottom, then it is not going to work out for you. It's just not the right kind of decision to do. Oh, I think we got a wreck further on back in the field.
Oh, it's no bueno. He's spinning. That is Robert Babcock, the Rooster, not having a good time. Looks like Sean Walton might be involved in this as well. Is that David Owens?
Yeah, it's David Owens there in the 8 truck. Looks like he may have some serious damage. Looks like that thing's sparking. I think I saw a couple other trucks maybe get a piece of it as well. I think I saw the 03 truck might have gotten into the wall a little bit from this. Yeah, you can see that right side looks a little scraped up, I believe, right there. So I do think we do have a replay here. We'll go back and see what caused all this. That saw Babcock and David Owens fly through the infield there.
All right, let's go back in time. Here it is. That's David Owens on the inside. You can see Babcock on the outside. Babcock a little bit loose. Owen plowing up the track and says, hey, your truck's loose because I hit it. And down into the grass goes the Rooster. Oh, and Owens clips. Ooh, he clipped him.
I think that was the 03 truck there.
Oh, no. Thought he was Donald Sterling and tried to be a clipper. That was no good, and it had about an equal success rate. Yeah, look, that's what we were talking about, that bottom line. You're trying to hold that same speed, and it just plows up. We saw that happen up front to Cowgill, and now we see it happen to Owens. And the unfortunate beneficiary of this is going to be the Rooster as he comes down. Now, what if your truck's broke, Joe? What about the fast repair situation here?
Yeah, so there is still a fast repair in the series for everybody to utilize if they need to here, as it looks like everybody might be coming down pit road this time, Mean Gene, for probably, I would assume, some fuel to make it to the end of the stage. If anybody takes tires here, they're going to be down to set for the rest of the race. But like I was saying, we got a fast repair. So if we need to use it here, we can. The idea, though, is to save it, especially in a track that's so unpredictable like this one. Because, we've seen a lot of chaotic wrecks happen at tracks like this where there's a lot of draft involved. So we want to make sure that we can hold it as long as humanly possible.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at what happened to the 03 right there, he's minding his own business. Chris Cowgill, the brother of Patrick, just driving along, and all of a sudden he's hit with a meat missile, and that sends him into the pits with a little bit of damage. Update from our drivers. Sean Walton has retired for the day, and a little update from the pit of Walton. Apparently, it is a mechanical issue. That wheel has been giving him problems, and Walton with a serious crunch right now as far as getting that piece of hardware back into his rig. We're going to keep you updated as we go, but that is a crushing blow for Walton and also for us, the fans and announcers, as Sean Walton has shown nothing but speed. Remember, he took the pole last week in his Thursday Thriller premiere race, and he also won the six-pack from Monday nights. So Sean Walton, we hope he gets that thing fixed soon and get him back out here on the track.
Yeah, definitely a tough break. Right now on this pit stop, pretty much the whole field took fuel only. There's a couple people that took tires that I want to highlight. First one being Kyle Lynott. He came out of the pits in 12th place here. He's going to be the first one on freshies. Other guys that we know for certain took tires here based on their pit times. David Brenner back in 18th place. Right behind him in 19th, Ricky Mandela Sr. took tires as well. Plus Mike Benton back in 21st. Those are the guys that we know for certain took tires here. It's possible Chris Cowgill with his pit time took tires, but I'd say it's probably more likely he was just fixing damage. I'd say the same thing for the driver behind him as well, David Owens.
Yeah, David Owens, we did see DoorDash run into his window as well quickly, so David getting fuel for himself and his truck. Bojangles is going to be the sponsor of the next few laps here for that number 8 NOS truck. Up front, Matt Tucker did manage to come out of the pits first, still being shown number 1. That's that 25 pit car. Outside of him, Zach Panzarella. Worked out great for Panzo. Last year he got a reputation as starting off real fast and kind of fading. Fixed that problem, and as though going fast is a problem, and ended up with that championship from last season. And here he is up front again in that DDI number 12 Chevrolet. Lots of Chevys up front. Top 6 trucks are Chevrolets. The first Ford, Joe Volpus, back in 7th Then the next one, Jeff Pfeiffer in ninth. That's another driver. I haven't talked about him much tonight, but Jeff Pfeiffer has shown some amazing speed. The guy got a new rig. It was helped to be installed by Tommy Fox, and since then we've seen top 5 qualifying efforts and runs. Jeff just needs to put it together. Here we are. We're in the restart zone, and away we go. Matt Tucker gonna lead him across that start-finish line. Got Zach Panzarella with him. He's gonna fade right up in front of Zach on that outside lane. That's gonna put Zach and Cowgill side by side. We've seen this all night long. 3-truck lead for Tucker as he's going to bring him around turn number 3. Panzarella gives up the position to Cowgill. Behind them, McQuarter and Hillman side by side. Case of beer, Lewis, Vulpes, A.J. Benish now into the top 10. Andrew Bolander with his first race. And look at this 3-wide action. Steve Lewis, Joe Vulpes, Lynott, 4 wide. And A.J. Benish behind them going to make a decision. He decides he wants to make it 5 wide. This is ridiculous, Joe.
Yeah, these guys are racing really hard, and you know what we're seeing here? Kyle Lynott is bobbing and weaving, cutting through this field like a knife cuts through butter. Look at him go on those fresh tires. He's already knocking on the top 5. He's underneath Alex McQuarter for 5th, and we just restarted 2 laps ago.
This is what you're supposed to do when you get the fast tires. Mandela took tires. He's back in 14th, barely in 13th. Behind them, Brenner took tires. He's in 16th, barely in 15th. But these faster trucks are what making it so exciting. Look at Brenner. He's 3 wide, 2 wide. Now he's following the other 4 fresh tire of Mandela. A.J. Benish going to cut down right in front of them, 3 wide behind them. But look at that outside lane, Joe. These guys are on old tires. Outside lane is the way to go, and they're almost single file. Inside lane, fresh tires, the way to go. And Benish in the middle can't make up his mind.
Yeah, some crazy racing going on. And you know what? While we were talking about these guys in the back, look at this. Kyle Lynott has already made his move to take over the lead of the race. That's a lap truck in front of him, the 03 of Cowgill, who's fighting to stay on the lead lap
right
now.
He's not lapped yet.
That's
He's
Chris
not
Cowgill.
lapped yet. He's going to battle him off. I feel it. I feel it in my heart.
Man, you can just see how much they're battling, though, throughout the field. Look at that. I just saw Bolander there, Andrew Bolander pop out. He's going low on the 12 truck there for 6th place, 5th place now as well. Look at that, though. Look at this tandeming of the 2 fresh tires coming through the field. Ricky Mandela Sr., David Brenner, they're just tandeming their way up through the field methodically right now.
Very smart. Meanwhile, guys on old tires having trouble. You can see Tucker trying to hold the bottom line, does a whole lot better job than Cowgill going through that part of the course. But as you said, the tandem of Mandela and Brenner continuing to push forward as they now take over 4th and 5th place. Looking forward now, Cowgill the next victim, and Mandela sneaks by him. Mandela pulls side by side with Matt Tucker inside lane, working for these fresh tires. Lap 24, 14 laps until that stage break, and these fellas need to make use of it. If you're going to burn your tires, Joe, you need the playoff point that comes from the win.
I think Kyle Lynott may have snuck away from these guys in order to get the playoff point, but this is going to be a lot of stage points for these guys. Ricky Mandela and David Brenner right now are going to be battling for 9 stage points. Second gives 9, third will give 8. Since we have over 20 drivers tonight, top 10 will get points. I think Kyle's, as long as there's not a caution, has the 10 points and playoff point locked up. Mandela, Brenner will battle for 9, and then the second guy will get 8. And then, of course, Mike Benton, the other guy that I mentioned earlier, highlighted, is coming on tires as well. Not been able to make the same kind of moves that the other guys have made to get through, but he's still doing a good job here, cutting through the traffic, taking his time. He's making a move right now on Bolander for 6th, and it looks like his tires are so good, he's going to make a move on Cowgill for 5th. You can just see how he's cutting his way through the field as well, and he needs some good stage points as well. Here tonight, and it looks like he's going to have a good chance to get 4th at the very least.
Yeah, Mike Benton making moves down there in the InfoWars number 5. No judgment here Meanwhile, you know who else is looking good? That's Chris Cowgill. I told you, I felt it in my heart that he would stay ahead of Lynott, and he has done it. He's still up there, holding on for dear life. The 988 is sniffing him down like Pablo Escobar. You got to stay out of his range, or else he'll draw you right back into his nostril. Good run there by Chris. Stay on that lead lap. 14 more laps. Worst case scenario, though, he might be a lucky dog candidate even if he does get caught. That lead 2 seconds. Last lap, you can see Lynott was actually 9/100ths of a second faster than Mandela. Brenner 1/100th of a second slower than Lynott. I'm really impressed that Lynott can put together times without having a tandem partner. Is he close enough to Cowgill to pick up a little bit of that draft on the straightaways?
I mean, maybe a little bit of that draft. They're not too far apart, but I would say he's definitely getting the sniff down the straightaways. He might be getting a little bit hurt by a little turbulence in the corners, but it's nowhere near as much as if he was within 2 or 3 tenths of him.
No, 6/100th of a second slower was Lynott than the 3 trucks of Mandela, Brenton, and Banner. So the 4 guys that took tires are your 4 lead trucks. Of course, Cowgill also taking tires, but with that damage, he had to come in for a second pit stop, get a little bit more of a repair. Probably wise, though, to try to save that fast repair just in case something insane happens a little bit later. And there's a perfect shot now of Lynott enjoying the benefit of this. As long as he can keep those boys behind him, 2-second gap, there's no real reason for him to challenge Cowgill. Cowgill with the fresh tires, pulling Lynott around the track at speeds fast enough that he should be able to clinch this stage victory. Lap 29, we're going to lap 37. So 9 more laps as we continue to race here live at Auto Club Speedway on the Vortex Racing Network. Mean Gene Money with Smokin' Joe Volpus bringing you the action with that beautiful tower. You can look up and down that thing and see where your favorite drivers are. Lots of new names. Bolander didn't race last week. He's back. Matt Tucker, early leader, finds himself in 6th now on the older tires. Cowgill as well, older tires. There's Alex McWhorter in that 15. First race of the season for Alex, and he's in the top 10. Jonathan Casabir, same story. He also, look at him trying to make that inside work on the old tires. Plows right up side by side with McWhorter. And then Panzarella. That's going to round out your top 10 as we got some great action here. 8 laps to go in the first stage.
Yeah, some really great action going on. You can just see how much those older tires don't really matter that much for everybody between each other. They've pretty much been able to stay in a whole pack from 5th on back here. Right now, you see 5th place is about 7 3/4 of a second behind Lynott, and then if you look all the way back to Stephen Bryan in 22nd, he's 12 seconds back. So 4 seconds separate right now, 5th through 22nd. So pretty much everybody's very close to each other right now on the old tires. And the only separation that's really going on, actually, is at the front of the field. But that gap is closing a little bit there, Mean Gene. I don't know if you noticed, but it's under 2 seconds now from Kyle Lynott to Ricky Mandela. So maybe they did a little better job of saving their tires, or they got a bit of better drafting going on between the two of them.
Yeah, Mandela Brenner trying to make it work. Mike Benton actually had a 43 second lap, the previous lap. So he had a little bit of a wiggle that took him out of the draft. He's now about 3.5 seconds behind the 3rd place of David Brenner. So he's still holding on, looking at some good stage points, but that little wiggle going to take him out of the chance to catching up. Look at that gap right there, though, as we continue to see the lead that he does have over the trucks that don't have fresh tires. These guys are pulling about a second faster a lap. That's that front 4 on those new tires. So as long as this thing can stay green and they don't drive straight into a wall, those top 4 should be real happy. The question, though, is Lynott. And look at that. No sooner do we talk about the gap getting smaller than the gap spreads out again, once again, as Lynott continues to find success. He's just close enough to Cowgill, I think, to benefit. And Cowgill, that's a fast driver, brother of Patrick. he has been able to put together some great runs, and I think that's what we're seeing here is Lynott. I mean, how lucky can you get? You take 4 tires, you get in the lead, and then there's a lap guy who's fast in front of you with 4 tires as well. What a perfect scenario for Kyle.
Yeah, really good scenario. The other part that was a really good scenario for him as well is he had a lot better track position than everybody else that took 4 tires. So it made him making all those moves to get back to the lead with the fresh tires a lot easier than it did for Mandela Brenner. They started pretty much at the tail end of the field. Kyle started in the mid-pack, so it made it very easy. He pretty much got up to 5th place in a lap and a half, and it took Mandela Brenner a lot longer to get into the top 5, and you're seeing that right now with the way the gap is. But I'll tell you what, that battle back at the tail end of the top 10 right now is really starting to heat up. You got Zach Panzarella, Jonathan Casabir, Alex McCorder, Benish, Hillman, Pfeiffer, Scotty, Estep. They're all on top of each other back here right now, from 8th to about 13th place.
Single file go those 6 trucks right now, but always looking down. AJ Benish, really fast guy. Remember, he did win the Tuesday Truck Championship just last year, so to watch him here on Thursday, you know he's going to be bringing that fire. That's in the number 9, Jared Kelly. I sent you a DM. He needs a penalty. But he is always going to be fast and looking to get through there. Right ahead of him, he is trying to deal with the 73. Also full of speed, and ahead of them there's the 12 of Panzarella, defending champion. There it is. Benish now gonna look low, gonna go side by side. That is gonna slow him down, and that's gonna let Hillman and McWhorter try to pull in as they are also side by side. Battling back here is far from over. We're on lap 36 though. This thing's about to get spicy.
Yeah, so right now Kyle Lynott is going to be coming to take the white flag for the stage, and these guys are fighting for whatever points they can get in the stage before it ends. And you know what? At this point, if a caution were to come out, it would revert back to the last green flag lap. So always keep that in mind when we come to the end of these stages, Mean Gene, is if a caution comes out towards the end of them where we're not going to go back racing, it's always going to revert to the last green flag lap ran.
Well, here we are, Benish and Casabir. That's 9 and 10. Alex Hillman is the odd man looking out. He is in the 08. That is the gray silver truck. Going to bring it down low, trying to improve his position. Don't think it's going to happen. Meanwhile, up front, it is Kyle Lynott here on lap 37, coming out of turn number 4. Kyle Lynott, he took 4 tires. He drove through some traffic, and it pays off as Kyle Lynott is going to stroke it around and go ahead and take him a stage victory. That's going to be the 988 with that first place position. Ricky Mandela, David Brenner also on fresh tires. There's Mike Benton, 4th. Very good, sir. Here comes the 5th place, and then here comes insanity. Everybody swerving as the 11 is going to come around in the 5th place, 5th to Andrew Bolander. They're going to take 5th. Patrick Cowgill chasing down him, going to be in 6th. Matt Tucker finishing 7th in this stage. Zach Panzarella going to get some points in 8th. AJ Benish holds on for 9, and it is Jonathan Casabir going to round out the top 10 as he's going to take that 1 point that could absolutely make a difference as we get toward the end. 12 drivers will face off in our championship playoff chase.
Yeah, so really good stage there. You know what I'm curious to see is what the guys that took tires, the top 4, what are they going to do here? Are they going to come take another set of tires and be down to 1 set for the last 50 laps of this race? Or are they going to stick out on the set of tires that they took under that caution earlier in the race back on lap 17?
I mean, you got to take tires. You got to take tires or else you're just going to fall straight back. You don't want to do what Chase Elliott did today at Watkins Glen, which is go back out there on old tires, just fall backwards, cry, and then have your crew chief make a bad decision later on, and you just keep fading at the end of every run. You can't do that. You got to take the tires and ride it out. You still got 1 pair and you know 1 full set of tires if you do that. And then there's only 1 scheduled pit stop left. So that's what you got to do. If there's a caution later on, oh well, you made your bed and you got your stage points. But the way these boys are racing today, who knows? We might go caution. We could go green. It's not off the
we only
table.
had one caution for cause here in the first 37 laps of the race, so that's been a very, very clean run to this point. So I don't think it's too big of a risk to take the tires here, but we'll see if they decide to or not.
Oh, I think you got to. I got an eye on Lynott right here. Let's see. He's pulled in. Oh, and he's done that crafty trick. Look how he's aiming outward from his pit stall. You see how he's got his truck angled? That's absolutely genius. I've seen a lot of pros talk about that.
Oh, there he goes. He's going to be the first one off pit road.
11 seconds.
Mandela beat him off.
Now, I'm really confused here, Joe. I'm looking at some numbers right here. Kyle Lynott, 11-second pit stop, 45.68 pit lane time. Meanwhile, Ricky Mandela, 14.8-second pit stop. That's 3.8 slower, but he was 36.45 in the pit lane. Did he speed?
You know what happened here is the 3 truck is that pit time that's showing. So it's showing him going down pit road this last time, but it's showing his last time in his pit stall as lap 17 still. Mean Gene, he missed his pit stall.
Oh, no, it did not. I thought only I did that kind of thing.
He's going to have to come back down again this time and come get service, or he's going to be in a bad position for the rest of the race. Here he comes down, going to give up all that track position. He was going to pretty much restart in second right behind Kyle Lynott, or alongside Kyle Lynott, I should say. And instead, he's going to have to come down pit road now, give up all of the track position, be down that extra set of tires, and start back in 23rd place.
Emotional damage.
Not where you want to be, unfortunately, for Mandela. He is going to, let's go live. I think we got him on the radio. Hey, Rick, how you doing down there? Yeah, let's not talk to him anymore. So the 3 of Mandela, unfortunate. Golly, Joe, I thought I was the only guy that did that. Look at Lynott up front, though. So let me ask you, though, the time, do you think Lynott just took right sides? 11
Yeah, there's
seconds?
no way you could take 4 tires in that amount of time. Without a doubt, it was a right side only pit stop. So we'll see how right sides play out here. For this run, everybody else is on 4 tires, so we're gonna see firsthand how the right sides are fresh and the left sides are 24 laps old for Kyle. So we'll see how 24 lap old left side tires, fresh right side tires work compared to everybody else on 4 fresh tires.
Wow, not a problem. I'm sure it'll be fine. So up front, Lynott got Brenner next to him. Patrick Cowgill, Matt Tucker. That is your second row. Panzarella, Andrew Bolander in the third row. Jonathan Casabier, AJ Binish in the fourth row. Jeff Pfeiffer, Alex Hillman. That is your top 10. The big question mark so far has to be Mandela. What will happen? Mike Benton also drops back to 20th after that 4th place finish that he had. Here we go. Geico restart zone, and away we go. Inside lane gets a great jump. Outside lane, looks like Brenner didn't go. Tucker backs up with him. Bolander into him as well. Tucker goes down low now. Lynott leading him into the turn. Behind him, Cowgill and Tucker hugging the apron. Brenner on the outside in the 22. It's the 11 of Andrew Bolander now getting momentum. Panzarella side by side with AJ Binch. That's for 5th. And here we go side by side by side. 10 deep as we're going to take it around. Turn number 3, outside lane. Lynott now losing momentum as that inside lane with fresh tires. Patrick Cowgill pulls away. 3 wide, David Brenner. Look at this now. The AJ Binish, Andrew Bolander takes it 4 wide. Oh, and they're into each other. They're going to come back up on the track. Look at Brenner. He almost saves it.
No.
And he takes out Hillman. You can't park there. You can't park there.
That was a very, very, very hard lick. Man, that was 3 wide gotten wrong if I've ever seen it, Mean Gene.
Wow. I'll tell you, I thought he was going to save it at first. I thought he was going to save it. Caution on lap 43. Only the second caution for cause that we've had. And it is David Brenner. Brenner so fast early on. Took tires, took a chance. got him some stage points, comes back on freshies, gets caught up in some 3-4 wide foolishness, and it is David Brenner who pays the price as he's limping around right now in that number 22. Going to have to see how much damage that Ford took. Unfortunate circumstance there for him, as he is going to bring it around. And, well, he didn't go in immediately, so that might be a good sign. Perhaps this is something repairable and he could save a fast repair.
Yeah, I would say then it would be just because he wouldn't use the closed pit. He's going to catch up to the field. Let's go back and let's see what happened there on the front stretch. That 3 wide gone wrong there, Mean Gene.
Oh, it's exciting. You can see Benish and Bolander in the back. Tucker touches him. Zach Panzarella touches him. Bolander then touches him. Now Panzarella, that's a lot of touching. He got touched many times. I'm going to have to ask him to show me on the doll exactly where he got touched, but that is some damage.
No, I'm bored with Tucker. It looks like Tucker went up to side draft. I don't think he knew they were 3 wide and just ended up getting in the side of the 22.
Ooh, he Austin Hilled that. Look at him drive away.
Yeah, that's what it looks like to me. I think that's just a side draft gone wrong, not realizing they were 3 wide.
Oh, and then he got touched by everybody, and then Hillman with the final touch.
That was a huge hit there at the end. I'm going to be mostly concerned about the damage here at the end of it. Here, we're going to get a good look at it one more time. So see the 25 come up, gets into the 22. So I think right here, that's going to be some good damage right there. That's going to be a little damage. That's going to be a little more. That last hit right there, the nose hits between Hillman and Brenner are the hits that's the hit that really concerns me. And I think Brenner might have to use a fast repair, maybe the same with the 08 truck of Hillman.
Yeah, Brenner in and out relatively quickly right there. 9-second pit stop. Not thinking he got that damage repaired that quickly. Meanwhile, half the field choosing to pit, top 12 stayed out, but the bottom 11 choosing to come on in. 2 of them for a reason, of course, Brenner being one of them, trying to figure out exactly what is going on with that truck. Fast repair has probably been burned. We are on lap number 45, scheduled for 88 here tonight. We are at the Auto Club on the Vortex Racing Network, bringing you this action. Mean Gene Money, Smoking Joe Vulpes, second race of our 12-race regular season. Right now, Patrick Cowgill being shown as your leader. Remember, Patrick last week with that 3rd-place finish at Nashville would love to continue that momentum here as he has led multiple laps. Behind him, A.J. Benish. AJ so fast last week at Nashville, but defeated by the tire strategy and surprising speed on the 2 tires of David Owens. Here's Matt Tucker, fresh off his contact with David Brenner. He's going to be shown on the 2nd row. Andrew Bolander, Alex McWhorter, Zach Panzarella on the 3rd row. Jeff Pfeiffer is still showing up in that top 8. Here's Scotty Estep. Not a good qualifying run for the 48, but he's up 15 spots into 8th. David Owens, last week's winner and playoff driver, in 9th. And Lucas Alves is going to be shown in 10th, up 10 spots in that 115 Chevrolet.
Yeah, right now it looks like some guys are coming back in to top off. These guys are just, I think, looking to just get as much fuel packed in the car as possible. Kyle Lynott, you see him, he's back to 20th. Alex Hillman, 21st. Looks like Steve Lewis, the captain's going to come and top off on fuel as well, along with the 3 truck of Ricky Mandela Sr.
Hey, if you're not in the top 5, top 3, you know you're going to catch a grill full of dirty air. You might as well come on in, get the fuel, and see if you can cut down on a pit stop time a little bit later in the race. I mean, Tommy, he cruised around in the back. Now he's up in 11th. He's sniffing at a top 10, which is where we have become accustomed to seeing that number 57 Ford finish, of course, up in those top 10 finishes. Here we go. The pace truck is off. 31 controlled truck of Cowgill on the inside into the Geico restart zone. Away we go. Great run. But Benish on the outside is going to stay with him. Tucker, Benish, side by side, trying to chase Cowgill down as he's going to lead him into turn to Cowgill riding in the middle, trying to block everybody. Does a great job. Binish and Tucker have to eat his dirty air. Binish and Tucker still side by side. That's going to let Cowgill get a lead going down the backstretch. McWhorter now racing. Panzarella's looking down below. Panzarella's going to take it 3 wide with the 11 of Bolander and the 15 of McWhorter. Up front, Cowgill trying to hold on. He's getting a little bit loose, but he holds on. Binish second. Tucker starts to fade. Back into third. McWhorter side by side with Bolander. This is some outrageous racing, and they're going to bring it around, and Cowgill's going to lead them on that last lap. Wow, it's exciting.
Yeah, you want to get as much as you can on these restarts. I think that's what you're seeing right here is everybody's getting very, very, very racy to get all they can on the restarts. Zach Panzarella looked like he tried to bite off more than he can chew, got loose, almost caused a big wreck down there in turn 3 by taking that bottom lane 3 wide. Looks like it may have cost him a few spots. He fell to 7th out of all that.
Yeah, Panzarella, though, you can't count that guy out. He'll be back to chase some more. Speaking of you can't count that guy out, how about David Owens powering his way up into 6th place? Lots of Gulf Coast affiliates now showing off in the top 10. But it's still Cowgill. He's got a bunch of hungry piranhas behind him. They'd love to chase him down. Lap 49 of 88. Still have 33 laps to go as we are doing battle here at the Auto Club. AJ Binish. Look at all the single file. It's not till you get back to case of beer that people start to look down. And now here it is, AJ Binish looking to get by Cowgill. Cowgill trying to use the middle of the track and that momentum. Binish, though, he's got the fresh tires. He can use the apron. Falls back into line. Oh, so close, but no cigar.
Yeah, it looks like going down here into turn 1. The only true racing that's going on side by side actually is a repeat of the end of the race last season there. Zach Panzarella and David Owens. Looks like Owens has cleared the 12, trying to clear the 25 now, trying to get a 2-for-1 here. Coming out of turn 2, I don't know if he's going to be able to pull it off. Looks like he may get stuck on the bottom and have to send it here into turn 3 to complete the pass and get into the top 5.
Lots of single file racing behind them. And here it is. Owens finally going to step up in front of Tucker, and Tucker is going to step up in front of Panzarella. Will Panzarella take it laying down? I don't think so. He's going to look back down low. He's going to pinch Tucker up against the wall. Thinks he's Duval. Then he's going to go down low. Tucker forced to stay with Owens. Owens, Panzarella, and Tucker. It's getting spicy. It's like a taco truck on a Monday night.
Yeah, these guys are racing really hard. Further on back, just at the tail end of the top 10, you see Joe Volpes, Jeff Pfeiffer side by side as well. And it looks like Jonathan Casevier trying to peek his nose, maybe thinking about 3 wide with him.
Ooh, and the 73 goes high, and that's where Lucas is running in the 115, and then Steve Fugay behind them. So there's some 2x2s, and there's Tommy Fox also coming into the picture as well.
94 is going to dive it low. Look at that. They're going to go 3 wide.
Steve Fugay going to take it 3 wide. Does he have the tires, though, to hug down on the bottom? Looking good. He's got Pfeiffer, and he's got Lucas on the outside with him. This is some great racing, and it's about time Steve got his nose dirty. I haven't been able to point a finger at him yet. But remember, Joe, if you point a finger at somebody, there's 3 fingers pointing right back at you.
Yeah, that's very true. Speaking of the guys that pitted there, though, let's just touch on them. Kyle Lynott looks like he's moved back up to 15th here as of this moment. He's trying to work his way back forward. He just took fuel only, so he's still on those 2 tires, I believe. I don't know what he took tires. It looks like maybe on the last caution. I don't know what's going on with his pit times. To be fair, his pit times are confusing me a lot. I don't know what his tire strategy is at this point. I think maybe that 10-second pit stop that we saw earlier, maybe that was fuel only, Mean Gene. I think this might be his first set of tires. I don't know what's going on.
It could be. He's got Lynott has 4 pit stops so far, so you have to assume lots of them were just for fuel. Meanwhile, he is now becoming a nuisance for Steve Fugay as he and Steve side by side starting to close the gap on Tommy Fox and Alvis right in front of them. And here we go. I can't tell either. Does Lynott have fresh tires or not? Because he'll dive it down to the bottom and then he'll back off hard, finally falling in right ahead of Steve. Side-by-side racing all the way through up until you get to the 73. You can see Sabir trying to poke his nose below Tucker, and then Jeff Pfeiffer behind them as well. Lap number 54, Tucker still running strong. That's my dark horse right there for a top 8 finish, is going to be that 85 of Pfeiffer. Love what he's doing tonight here, Joe.
Yeah, he's been having a good run, just quietly running around here towards the top 10. Having a good run. You know, we usually see him qualify a little bit better. Maybe this season he's working more on race pace than just being good on one-lap pace, because we're seeing him run pretty well, and I'm almost certain that 988 is on his second set of tires right now with the way he's cutting these guys up and down. I just think the tire advantage isn't as pronounced as it was the first time, because how close the pit stops were together. Look at him. He was able to really dive it down there, but he doesn't have the draft, and that's going to be the problem here, is making these moves. We want to make sure we don't burn up those tires making the moves that he's trying to make.
And I think you were onto something earlier when you said he started up front, up closer to the front, so he only had to pass 6 cars to take over that lead. And then he got the benefit of Chris Cowgill being a fast driver trying to avoid getting lapped. Meanwhile, up front, Patrick Cowgill continuing to lead, but now new contender, the 11 of Andrew Bolander, taking a peek to chase him down out on that outside lane. AJ Binish, and there's Owens and McQuarter side by side. Here we go. Andrew Bolander, he's looking down low, draws side by side. Let's see if he pinches Cowgill up high. No, he does not, but he's got to try to hold the apron, and Cowgill's got Binish pushing him. Let's see the momentum of the outside lane versus the inside lane. Looks like the tires are still holding up. What a great move by Andrew Bolander to take the lead. That's the 11 Toyota. Cowgill now, though, all the way up underneath the rear fender. The 11 of Bolander, he's going to go down low again, but he's alone. Cowgill has Binish, and again he holds on. What speed in that number 11?
Yeah, right now it looks like he's got clean air is king still in these races, I think. And that's what we're seeing here today, once again, under the lights here at Auto Club. Bolander able to make the power move around Cowgill to take the lead, and now he's just making it work in his favor, running that low line and not really able, those guys on the high line not really able to do much with him.
No, we'll see how many more laps they can hold off. They pitted on lap 39, which means they've run about 20 laps on these older tires. We'll see how much longer it holds. And now, though, it's Cowgill trying to look down low, and the 11 of Bolander, look how close they get. And then Binish comes in. They follow into line, 11, 31, and 9, and that is going to let Owens draw in as well. Once again, Bolander, he's going to look down low, hugging the apron. Outside lane now has 3 trucks trying to fall into draft formation, but the inside lane still holds. Which person is burning up more? You holding that thing wide open on the outside, or me utilizing the apron? I don't know if it's actually hurting Bolander down there. He looks faster, and I think he's saving more tires.
Yeah, you know, it all matters on the way the momentum's being run. The high line, you could definitely use the right front up more with the momentum, but also on the bottom, if you're not doing the lift coast correct, and also, you know, making sure you're rolling the corner properly, then you could be burning it up just as much as those guys on the high side. But right now, it looks like Andrew Bolander is doing everything he should be doing as the leader. He's breaking that draft in the corners. He's using the clean air that he has as the leader down the here in the corners as well. So he's just doing everything he should be doing as the leader of the race right now.
I was about to say, we're not talking about Mr. Mediocre Chrome Dome. We're talking about Andrew Bolander, multiple-time winner, Mo Power teammate of Colin Bollinger, partner of Daniel Plant Smith, friend of Sean Walton. These guys know about speed, and he's putting on a clinic here today. Meanwhile, behind him, look at Panzarella and McWhorter. They have snuck up, and now it's Panzo looking down below McWhorter. He might be trying that inside lane that he's seen Bolander have such great success with. Scotty Estep behind him. Look how high those guys now are going up. I mean, he's scraping the wall, Joe.
Yeah, so highlighted there real quick, Matt Tucker going to be the first one to come down pit road for his final pit stop of the day. He's going to try and flip some strategy here. Looks like he's just coming out of pit road now. You should see him on the apron right here, about to go a lap down right in front of these guys. There he goes through the frames right now. So he's going to be the first one to come off on and off pit road. We'll see if short pitting is the right strategy or not. I personally do not think it is. I think you want to run this fuel tank out, which most of these guys I would expect are going to be pitting anywhere between 68 and 73.
We're going to keep an eye on that. Remember, we're on lap 62, so that window's about to open. Meanwhile, you are looking at the leaders up front. Benish and the 11 of Andrew Bolander. Patrick Cowgill's that third truck squeezed in there. And now Alex McWhorter looks low. Cowgill loses it, goes into the wall. Owens passes him. Scott Estep passes him. Tucker moving in now as well up front. Andrew Bolander continuing to try to battle, but it's A.J. Benish now moving into the lead, the number 9 Summer Shanty truck. Here goes Bolander looking at the familiar apron, but that outside lane now looking so tasty. We'll see the momentum. They're still side by side.
Yeah, these guys are starting to race really hard here for the lead. As we get a little bit of a different camera angle, look at this. Look at these guys come around the track. You can see some guys coming off pit road. I see Zach Panzarella. He's coming off pit road. We'll see how this strategy works out. Look at that, 3 wide for the lead now. Alex McWhorter going to make an aggressive move to get to the inside.
Dove down, cutting off Bolander from the run he wanted. Speaking of cutting him off, look in the back. Owens into the back of McWhorter. And here comes Matt Tucker. He's a lap down, but he's got those freshies. Bolander one more time hugging the apron. Going to slow the progress of Tucker. Tucker trying to get his lap back the old-fashioned way. Benish stuck now behind Bolander. What great battling up front. We're on lap 64 of 88. 25 laps to go. And that pit window is open.
Yeah, we just saw Jonathan Casabir. He ducked down pit road. So a lot of these guys, pretty much half the field has now ducked down pit road at this point in the race. Looks like the top 11 to this point have stayed out, or the top 10, I should say, have stayed out so far. So those guys are going to be running it as long as they possibly can, and either A, hoping for a caution, or B, they're going to just want to make sure they have the freshest tires for the end of this race. But Andrew Bolander, you can see he's back to running that bottom line there, Mean Gene, and he's starting to pull a little bit of a gap again with the clean air.
Last lap, 42.19. The guys that pitted, you might be wondering what they're putting up, 41.52. So you're looking at about 7 tenths of a second speed difference between the fellas that pitted and the fellas that are still out there on the track. Look at the speed of Panzarella as he goes down under McWhorter. Panzo trying to get his lap back as well as he is on those 4 fresh tires. Panzo running a 40.60. That's 1.5 seconds faster than those guys on old tires. Here comes Patrick Cowgill as well. This is where it gets very interesting when you start to see the older tires coming up against the newer tires. Yeah, you're the leader. Yeah, you're battling for position, but I have got to cut through you. I've only got about 10 to 14 laps of really good tires, and I got to take advantage of this short pit, and that's where disagreements can happen.
Yeah, and we're starting to really see the number of guys out on track dwindle. We're down to the top 5 now as the only guys that have not pitted here on this cycle. So Benish, Bolander, Owens, McWhorter, and Hillman right now are the stubborn guys sticking it out, going as far as they can. And we'll see if that really works out for them. I'm concerned that they're giving up way too much time staying out here as long as they have to this point.
Well, if they do, then that's definitely going to play into the hands of a Kyle Lynott. Here we go. McWhorter finally bringing it down. I think Hillman needs to bring it down right now as well, as he's 4 full seconds behind that lead group, and he's running on a prayer all by himself. Meanwhile, happy smiles on the faces of a David Brenner and a Zach Panzarella as they continue to see slower lap times by those leaders. Panzarella with a 40.52. AJ Binish, the leader, 42.41. That's 1.9 second difference that last lap alone. Joe, they got to get it in there, or else they're going to suffer dearly once they come back out of their pits.
Yeah, I think what they're thinking here is maybe they're going to hope for a caution, and then they could just flip the whole strategy and have fresher tires than everybody else. Or then everybody's going to come pit again, and they're still going to have a set of tires in their pocket. Those are the only two real ideas I could have here, unless maybe they're thinking about coming and doing maybe 2 tires or something. I guess that's a possibility here as well. David Owens won the race last week by taking 2 tires. Maybe AJ, Owens, and Bolander are thinking 2 tires could work on a short pit stop this week.
Well, they're going to have to figure it out quickly. Meanwhile, Lucas Alves and Joe Volpis trying to cut through traffic, about to take it 3 wide there with David Owens finally making it around. Owens ahead of them now. You can see Binish on the outside as the 2 fresh truck tires continue to push forward. Volpis with a 40.63 that last time. Meanwhile, Binish with a 42.31, 1.7 second difference between them. So you're right. At this point, you're just praying. You need that caution to come out. You know you've taken it too far. Here comes Bolander now into the pit. I hear Binish on the radio. He's also making that call. So this is not good for these boys. We're going to keep a close eye. That's the 11 of Bolander that you see rolling down the pit. We're going to keep a close eye on his pit time as well as his pit lap time as well. Last time it looked like Kyle Lynott, 42.95. He was the fastest guy pit lane time coming in and out. But with a 9.22 second, I think he did right sides again, Joe.
Kyle Lynott. So we're going to take a look here. Let's see what these guys are doing. It looks like AJ is going to pit this time by David Owens stays out. Looking at the pit times, Kyle Lynott, his pit stop is a lot shorter than Zach Panzarella's. Patrick Cowgill's is also too short to be 4 tires. Same with Matt Tucker as well. Those 3 guys are definitely all on 2 tires here.
Sneaky.
And we'll see if that strategy works out for him or not. As you can see, Patrick Cowgill here making a move around the 988. Cowgill's pit strategy has worked out so badly for him that he's now looks like he's going to end up behind Lynott here for position. So it's not really worked out very well for Cowgill in order to have a good chance to win the race, I don't think.
And here's AJ Binish. Binish took 4 tires again, just like last week, and he might lose to a 2-tire strategy guy again. I'm throwing a controller across the room. Not mine, of course. I'm talking about my nephew's. But that could be the position Binish finds himself in again. Meanwhile, Hillman is staying out, now being shown as your leader. David Owens finally going to bring it down into the pits, watching the time of Owens. Remember, last week he went with the 2-tire strategy, which turns out to be victory for him. This time Owens still in the pit, 14.8. That means 4 tires for Owens. These guys hoping for perhaps a green-white checker situation. We're on lap 73 of 88, 16 laps remaining. Those 2 tires might hold out for a Kyle Lynott, but right now Panzarella in the lead or in second. That's the guy I'm looking at as he pitted back on lap number 62. Lynott on 66, but that is just a 2-tire strategy. He is the number 3 truck. Everybody waiting to see when Alex Hillman's gonna bring it in. Hillman last came in on lap 45, so those tires are screaming. 28 laps on those things, Joe.
Yeah, he's definitely right at the end of his run. The thing I'm noticing here, though, is even though Zach's on 4 tires, those 4 laps, the difference is mattering a lot. Kyle Lynott is reeling in Zach Panzarello on his 2 tires. So it looks like right now the difference in lap, and just the lap of pitting, the 4-lap difference on the right sides matters more than the left sides. You can see how hard Zach is pushing it there. He gets the wall out of turn 4, actually. He's pushing it so hard.
Yeah, Panzarella known for outright speed, trying now to make it happen here at the end of the run. And look at Lynott peeking on the inside. Panzarella's going to block him, hold that line, and give him a grill full of dirty air. Lynott again making the charge, gonna pull right behind him into the draft on that backstretch, starting to look down low, but the speeds of the trucks even out. Here we go again. Kyle Lynott, he peaks down low. He's got the apron side by side. Panzarella trying to hold the speed on the 4-lap older tires. Lynott only 2. What a battle going on right now between these 2 competitors, side by side across the start-finish line to complete lap 75.
Yep, and we saw there Alex Hillman has pitted finally, and the lead has now reverted back to these 2. So Kyle Lynott is now going to take point of this race down the backstretch with only 13 laps left. And as we look through here, so he's on 2 tires, of course, lap 66. Panzarella right behind him. He's on 4 tires, 4 laps older, though, and trying his best to hold on. And then we keep going through the rest of the top 5.
Look at Tucker. Look at Tucker right now. He's on 2 tires, and he just got split in the middle by Volpus and the 40. Oh, and then the 48 of Estep comes right above him. Sorry to cut you off, but I thought there was going to be a wreck.
Yeah, so getting through the guys that are also up here. So, like I was saying, Patrick Cowgill looks like he's about 2 seconds back. His 2-tire strategy was coming down on lap 63, so it's really not working out well for him either. Joe Volpus pitted on the same lap as Kyle Lynott, but the difference is Volpus took 4 compared to Lynott's 2, so we're going to see if that really matters here down the stretch. Kyle was able to pull out a big gap between the 2 of them, through pit stops. And as well, Volpus had a lot more trucks here to pass. Volpus now up to 3rd, 2.3 seconds behind. So the next guy on good tire, like fresh tires, is going to be Alex McCorder. He's on 4. He pitted on lap 67, but he's 4.5 seconds right now behind the leader. Has some work to do to get back into it. And then the next guy down that's on really good tires is Bolander. He pitted on lap 70, 4 tires, but he is 5.5 seconds behind the leader.
AJ finished with the fastest lap last time, pitted on lap 71, so he only has 7-lap old tires. The guys up front, Joe Volpus 41.55, Panzarella 42.02. So you can already see 0.5 of a second, but of speed faster is Volpus, trying to close that gap, 1.2 seconds behind Panzarella. But in front of them, Kyle Lynott. Lynott on 2 tires once again. It gave him a 9-second advantage in pit lane time, but we'll see if that can pay off as he tries to hold off the charge. 41.71 was the last lap for Lynott, 41.67 last lap for Volpus. So the breakdown of the tires, not so significant yet to make Team Lynott panic, but on lap 79, you still got 10 more to go.
Oh, no.
Bad things?
Oh, the 85 is around.
Oh, I cursed him. Oh, Jeff, I'm sorry. Looking for a big finish from the Harley-Davidson 85 of Jeff Pfeiffer, and he goes round, white round. You spin me round.
That's a really tough break. We're going to have to go find out what happened to him there.
10 laps, Joe. He needed 10 more laps to come off with a great finish. Jeff Pfeiffer there, unfortunately.
Up here. Just give me a second.
Yeah, unfortunately caught up in some foolishness. Speaking of foolishness, that's going to pull everyone together, and we're going to find out now the hard way who has an extra set of tires. This is not what a Kyle Lynott wanted to see. Remember, he took the tires early. Oh, it's Brenner. Finish into the back of Brenner. Oh, no. So, fast repairs on the board, but watch what happens here. Pfeiffer up front. Here comes Benner. The little neck code. I didn't see him touch. And I saw the untouched for sure, though. And the back of Brenner's truck just caved in. That was some high-speed hijinks.
You see David Owens right there splitting the middle. AJ Binish, David Brenner, and Jeff Pfeiffer, your big losers from this wreck here. So let's see what everybody does on pit road, Mean Gene.
I'm going to say Kyle Lynotte's your biggest loser after that. Well, he has to be sad about that.
He's only got a left side set of tires left. So he's going to take his left sides. He's going to be the first one off pit road here. And it looks like some guy's taking right sides behind him. I think I saw Joe Volpus, the next car out of pit road. He's on right side tires. However, 4 cars stayed out on the track. So we have Alex Hillman. He last pitted on lap 75. So he's on the freshest tires in the field from green flag pit stops. 4 tires. He's leading the race. Mike Benton, he pitted last on lap 62. That's when he took his last set of tires. So he's out of tires, and they're pretty old, so not a good position for him. Steve Lewis in the same boat. Lap 61 is when he took his last set. And the same for Ricky Mandela Sr. So those 3 right now are in some really, really dire straits and pretty much are going to hope for the best. I don't really feel so good about their situation. Alex Hillman, though, 5-lap old tires, he just might be able to do something here. Especially since Kyle Lynott. Yeah, and you got to think Kyle Lynott isn't really somebody that's in a great position tire-wise either. He only could take lefts because that's all he had left in his pit stall to take. So we'll see if lefts do anything for him here. Then, of course, you got Joe Volpus. He's on rights. Scotty Estep, he's on rights. David Owens, he is also on right side tires. Everybody else from there on back is on 4.
Well, Kyle Lynott, he did all he could because he had nothing left in the stable. Meanwhile, will Joe Volpus have made the right decision? Okay, Hillman up front, though, lap 75. You got 15 good laps on these things. That's going to take us to around 90. Hillman could hold on with these 4 freshies up front. It just matters how quickly these other guys can get through. Lynott lefts only, Volpus rights only, Estep rights only, David Owens, AJ Binish rights only. And then look at this, Zach Panzarella all the way back to 10th, but he's got 4. Cowgill, 4. Tucker, 4. So that's where that line is. 10th place back, bunches of fellas with 4 sets of, 4 freshies. That's down to 15th. 16th place, Steve Bryan. He's only got 2. So let's see what happens right in that group as that group run straight into the fellas that took right sides only. So 9th and 10th, I think it's going to be like the line where you see the Atlantic and the Pacific Ocean come together. And up front, it's going to be even more exciting when we see what Lynott and Volpus do when they run into the Lewis and Mandela situation. Pace truck is off, coming around to complete lap 82 into 83, 88 scheduled here today. And away goes Hillman. Great start for Alex Hillman. Side by side by side, 10 deep behind him. Lewis finally pulls clear of the 5 of Benton. Lewis has Lynott. He's blocking Lynott up high. He's still going up with Lynott. Lynott finally is able to get around Lewis. Below them, you can see Mandela. Oh, and we're spinning. It looks like Bolander. It looks like Fuji. Oh, my word. What just happened? Did you see what I'm saying? Do you see what I'm seeing? Poor Hillman. That is not what he wanted to see. He was away clean. He had blockers behind him, and then all of a sudden, you think you get away, and they pull you right back in.
Yeah, there was a big wreck down there in turn 1. It didn't work out the way a lot of those guys wanted it to. Tough break for Steve Fugay. Tough break for Andrew Bolander. He was running up front all day. He's got some damage out of it. Stephen Bryan got some damage out of it. Looks like Tommy Fox got the short end of the stick on this one as well. You're going to see him come down pit road. Lucas Alves gets a little piece of it. All these guys just bad luck. Let's see if we can go back and see what happened here for you, Mean Gene.
Yeah, it's not a pizza. You don't want to get a piece of that. So you can see 4 wide, Tucker on the outside, lots of wiggling, AJ Binish going down below the apron. And Fugay comes in, smashes into the 11 of Bolander, and then that outside wall turns into a parking lot. You can't park there. Hey, Babcock's
Here's a
still
good
running.
view of it. You can see Steve and Brian, Steve Fugate side by side. Yeah, you see your boy Robert Babcock right behind him as they stack up into one, and here
Up
they
high
all
is
come
where
up
we're
the track.
looking. Yep, the
Looks like
16 to the
Netcode started
94.
it there with the two of them too, so I think Netcode created a good part of that wreck, unfortunately. Once
All right,
again.
looks like Lucas avoided disaster though.
Yeah,
I mean,
good
he
on him
wrecked his
to at least
tires.
avoid the. Yeah. That, the tires might be replaceable. He might still have a set left, but good job avoiding at least major damage.
Yeah, Tommy into the wall right there. You hate seeing that. Steve Bryan.
Yeah, you can see right here if you watch Mean Gene, it looks like Netcode gets the 94 and the 16 together. I'm almost certain they would have made contact anyways, but Netcode definitely started it right here.
And Netcode also hit the 16 in the 9. That's just terrible. Gosh darn it, iRacing. 4 laps to go as we see Alex Hillman. But looky. Here comes Hooky. Kyle Lynott with his left side only has pulled up into the front row. Steve Lewis and Joe Volpus behind them. Remember, Lewis on old tires. Lap 61 is when he put those 4 on there. And then Volpus with his right sides on lap 80, just 5 laps ago, is on the outside of row 2. Ricky Mandela Sr. and Mike Benton both on old sets. Let's go to row 4. David Owens, Scott Estep, both those guys on right side onlys. Matt Tucker now in 9th. He's the first guy that took 4 on the pit stops of lap 80. So we'll see if Tucker can cut through this traffic. It's going to be tough with that dirty air up front. Let's see if Lynott can utilize the left sides. Let's see if Hillman can hold on with his tires that are really only about 8 laps of green flag racing old.
Yeah, so 8 laps, we're going to see how much that really matters. You know what we saw there on that restart, I think, as well, is some guys were getting loose that took 4 freshies or even the right sides. Kyle Lynott reported that taking the left sides only, he was able to hold it wide open before the caution came out. So he might be in the best spot here of guys that took any sort of fresh tires by taking the left sides.
And he is the kind of driver that can hold that outside lane. Those tires are staggered perfect.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I guess you could match 2 tires with tires already on the car, maybe.
Yeah, they're matched and staggered perfect. Come on, man. He knows what he's doing.
I don't know how you match a set of tires, a set of left side tires to a set of right side tires already on the car, but we'll roll with it there, Mean Gene, I guess. I don't know what kind of science you got going on down there, but I think I want a piece of it.
Well, it's not pizza. You just got to do what you got.
Stay off the weed.
Oh, no. Come on now. Here we go. Bringing it around. It is time to go racing. Showdown time. 3 laps to go to determine who is going to win race number 2 of our 12-race regular season. Look at Lewis. He's all on the back of Hillman. Lynott and Volpus on the outside into the restart zone. Away goes Hillman. What a great start. He gets a truck lead, but Lynott still making chase. Here comes Steve Lewis in 3rd, Volpus in 4th, looking high. Let's see what Lewis does. It's going to affect Volpus. Meanwhile, behind them, Mandela off speed. Owens around the outside. Going to slow up Tucker, McWhorter. They're 3 wide back there with Patrick Cowgill. Up front, here's Lynott. And there it goes, wide. That's about as wide as you can go. That's a triple wide, and Babcock comes back onto the course. Meanwhile, side racing, Kyle Lynott. He's got those fresh right side tires, and he's going to hold it. He's going to Duval Hillman all the way up the course, and then he brings it back down. Here comes Volpus looking low, and Lynott shuts the door. 4 wide now as Volpus is going to bring it around. We're on the final lap. It's Volpus, it's Lynott, it's Hillman, and now David Owens is pushing it around the wall on the outside. Lynott going to bring it up high. He's going to get behind Owens. Owens does a crossover on Volpus. Owens looking down low, Volpus. Owens with fresh tires. We're on the backstretch. This is the last lap. Owens is on the apron with the fresh right side tires. Volpus drawing close with the draft. Coming out of 4. Owens hits the wall. Volpus goes low, but it's going to be David Owens back to back. Joe Volpus second, and then Hillman. Volpus loses control into Owens. What a final finish there. David Owens comes out of almost nowhere. Unbelievable. That series of restarts allowing drivers who we forgot to come right back into this thing and make it happen. David Owens back-to-back wins, gonna keep 11 spots open for the other drivers for the championship as far as the win, and you're in. Up top, the number 8, David Owens wins at Nashville here today, gonna win at Auto Club once again. He did that 4 freshies though, not 2. So Owens making it happen. There he is doing donuts. Chad waving that flag as hard as he can. David Owens. And we're hearing from MRL officials that he will not be allowed to exit the vehicle while on the track. So, yeah, doing his little donuts there with the win. Got to be excited. Back-to-back wins. Meanwhile, behind him, Joe Volpus did finish second. Alex Hillman with a podium finish. Hillman, he had dreams of grandeur. He could see the land of unbridled optimism. Still thrilled with a third-place finish, but he was inches away from taking that victory. One little caution away. Kyle Lynott holds on with his left side tires for a 4th place finish. Patrick Cowgill led a lot of laps, gonna finish in 5th. Andrew Bolander, welcome back, 6th place. The Rooster, he will rise again, and there he is in 7th place. That is the Rooster, Robert Babcock. Matt Tucker, 3,000, gonna finish in 8th. The captain holds on for 9th, and Ricky Mandela Sr. gonna finish in 10th. That's your top 10.
11th place went to Stephen Bryan here tonight. Then we had some guys that had some trouble there on that last lap. Big wreck actually happened on the last lap on the front stretch coming to the white flag. No caution was thrown for it, but there was a huge wreck that happened. So Zach Panzarella able to find his best way through to get 12th. Alex McCorder limps his way out of it in 13th. Scott Estep was able to bring the truck home for 14th. AJ Binish 15th. Mike Benton, Chris Cowgill, Steve Fugay are going to round out the top 18. As we go further on back, Lucas Alves is the last truck to be able to finish the race that was involved in that wreck. Tommy Fox and Jeff Pfeiffer both DNF off of that wreck. I think I saw Jeff Pfeiffer flying in the background actually there in on that last lap. So an unfortunate end to his night there. Me and Gene, I know you were had high hopes for him. David Brenner, of course, ends up 3 laps down from all his troubles tonight. We saw him in a few cautions. Jonathan Casabier was unable to finish the race. He finishes 23rd, 19 laps down. And of course, as you mentioned, Sean Walden finishes 24th due to his mechanical issues. He finishes 79 laps down.
Exciting finish after all of those restarts. Mostly clean run. As you can see, Owens puts it in the hole there for the Fuzzies Ultra Premium Vodka Victory Lane celebration. David Owens back-to-back wins to open the season. Now, remember, we will have an in-truck tournament to determine where that championship after week 4 at Darlington. We will go ahead and have that draft. Again, it's a 12-week regular season, 2 rounds of playoff elimination, 3 races in each round as we move forward here in season number 6. Do we have the standings after that last race? Bam, no surprise. Up top, David Owens. 2 starts, 2 wins, 2 top 5s, 2 top 10s, and a stage win as well. 103 points. Got a 9-point lead over Patrick Cowgill. Cowgill 5th today, 3rd last week. How about Kyle Lynott up there on the top 2 starts and 2 top 5? So top 3 drivers with top 5s both weeks. Behind them, AJ Binish already off to a great start. AJ is firmly in a playoff position. And look at 5th and 6th, Babcock and Hillman. And that's where we get to some spicy names. Guys looking for respect. And, you know, both those guys have wins under their belt in other races. But a few good finishes, a win, those could be some really interesting names moving forward in the playoffs, wouldn't you think?
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. It's still very early in the season. Way too early to really start talking about.
Two is bigger than one. Come on. Two's bigger.
I mean, two races in. You know, we're only 2 races in. We've done Nashville and Auto Club. You know, I think we got to get a few more races under our belt before we really start talking about who's favorites and who's not. Some guys further on back in the points that you wouldn't expect to be down there, still trying to work their way forward as well. So it's still too early to really start saying this guy is a favorite and this guy is not. And then this guy doesn't look like they're going to make the playoffs.
No, I'm going to say it right now, right there. The Chrome Dome is not going to make the playoffs. I'm just throwing that out there right now. Hillman, Babcock, Vulpes, Final Four, repeated contender. Ricky Mandela, full of speed. Sean Walton, 9th, needing him to get a wheel. We could see him break off. David Brenner, of course, was in the final 8 of the playoffs last year. Zach Panzarella, 11th, won the championship. Chris Cowgill, nothing but speed coming out of the brother as well. And then here we go, other playoff drivers, Steve Lewis, Steve Fugay, lots of speed out there, Michael Benton. So you're right, it's too soon to say anybody's a favorite, but all of these are guys that have touched into the playoffs at some point, or they're rookies showing great speed. So this thing's still wide open. Can't wait to see. Next week, of course, we are at IRP Indianapolis, and there's going to be a lot of excitement there for the Lucas Oil 150 laps of madness.
Yeah, short track racing is always insane, just about in every series that we race in. I think the trucks will be a little bit more tame than what we saw in the Xfinity series last week. At least I would hope so. 150 laps around there. I think the high line's probably going to be the one that prevails. I'm going to call that early here this week. And we'll see. The last time we went there, Scott Estep was the winner of the race. So we'll see if he's able to repeat this time around and lock his way into the playoffs.
Yep, wouldn't take him off the board. Guy qualifies really fast and also has a great reputation on the short track. So do a lot of other drivers. And at this point, let's go with momentum. Will it be Zero Chill 3 in a row? I'm not going to call it yet, but I might next week during qualifying. We'll just have to see how it goes. That's going to wrap it up for the Thursday Thriller Truck Season. It has been an absolute pleasure to bring you this excitement here on the Vortex Racing Network. On behalf of our sponsors, of which are none, hey, reach out. You want to sponsor next week's race? Go ahead and get in touch with Steve Fugay. Get in touch with Joe Vulpes. Hell, get in touch with Mean Gene. We'll get your name up here for just a couple of bucks. Hey, you could be the guy that makes all the practice sessions for us next week too. So sponsors, that could be you, myself, Mean Gene Money, Joe Vulpes, the admin, Steve Fugay, John Beverly, David Owen, Zach Panzarella, and all the boys back in the production truck that make this happen. It has been our pleasure to bring you this. David Owens, your victor, and next week we will be at the short track of IRP. As always, folks, bottoms up and hammer down.